Be prepared for some spoilers. We have the revealed plot of the Marvels, and it is as cringy as you expect it to be, maybe even worse. My God, I can't believe this. But this is what Disney's doing, and they know that they've got a bad film on their hands. There's talk about they wanted to delay this. There's talk about the fact that they were trying to redo things quickly towards the end here, and it's just a train wreck on every single level. I expect this to be one of the lowest performing Marvel movies out there when this does come out. Let's get into the news. Here is reported from Bounding Into Comics. Mr. H Reviews actually looked into this Marvel's plot here. And if you look at the way that they're advertising it now, you see they start with all this Endgame footage. They show Captain America and then try to tie Brie Larson into this and Thanos into this so that you remember the good movie. Because this is look at this. We're 30 seconds into the trailer now. And finally, we start to get into the actual movie. It actually highlights a different movie for the first 30 seconds of this minute-long trailer. They know exactly what's happening here, and they know they have a big problem here. So here it is. The Dar-Ben is a character Carol is obsessed with, and there's going to be spoilers. I've not seen this movie yet, but this is from a reviewer. Carol is obsessed with Dar-Ben. It's made clear Carol doesn't trust Dar-Ben. It's also made very clear Carol isn't wrong for mistrusting her because she is the villain, which we've seen in the trailer. So it's going to be a lot of just making the audience kind of feel stupid by the way that they act, like usual. Then he reveals Dar-Ben is the leader of the Kree. So Carol is having problems with the actual Kree here. Not a side faction, but the actual leader of the Kree going after Carol at this point. In the flashbacks, we see Dar-Ben witnessing Carol attacking the Supreme Intelligence. That's Dar-Ben's villain origin story. The Kree refer to Carol as the Annihilator or something along those lines. She obviously doesn't like that name. So because of her actions, the Kree don't like her, and they're supposed to feel bad because she kind of wrecked them in the last movie. So it's a villain that's only a villain because they're anti-Captain Marvel. It's not a villain because they're villainous on their own right. And that's always tough. They do that these days because they want to have these villains have motivation and all this stuff rather than actually having villains be evil and have heroes be good. It causes problems, and it's hard to watch these movies when they're like this because it's like, why are they even fighting? Like, why should I even care about this? Just go fight off in Israel and Palestine and leave me alone. I mean, in Korean Scroll, right? Dar-Ben has one of the bangles that Kamala has, so this is where this goes crazy. Kamala has the others. There's no specific way or explanation as to how Dar-Ben has it. What a disaster on this front. They set up this Ms. Marvel thing. They have to connect to everything because that's just what they do. And so they don't have a good explanation for it. She's just using it. However, to power a weapon, she needs both bangles, of course. There's a funny line where this villain Dar-Ben demands to know how Kamala got such an ancient and powerful artifact. And Kamala responds, I quote, "My grandma sent it to me in the mail." So like Nerdrotic said about this film, you're going to have to watch 16 hours of content to really understand it. You have to watch Endgame. You have to watch Captain Marvel. You have to watch The Marvels. You have to watch Secret Invasion to really understand this entire thing. It's a lot. It's a big ask to bring audiences in on this. It wasn't explained in the rough cut that my source saw, but almost immediately, Monica, Carol, and Kamala begin switching places every time they use their powers, just like the old Captain Marvel comic. Apparently, it's just not explained. So they're trying to tie in the old Captain Marvel comic. What happened in the comic was Rick Jones got into this spot and he'd have to clap his little bangles together or whatnot. And then Captain Marvel would swap into his place and then fight the villain, and then they'd swap back out. And he was in the negative zone while that happened. So I guess that's going to happen in this here as well. Monica is working on a space station, Swords, the Peak headquarters with Nick Fury. Kamala is at home, and that's where Nick Fury ties into this. And Carol is trying to sneak into a Kree Skull peace summit because she doesn't trust Dar-Ben, who is, of course, the leader of the Kree. Carol starts fighting Kree soldiers and then begins switching with Kamala and Monica, and the Kree soldiers start switching with her. So very odd. Rather than just having the team fight together, because it makes sense in the comic when you have a guy without superpowers switching with a guy with superpowers, it kind of makes a little bit of sense. When you have people with superpowers all switching with each other, like why? It doesn't seem to do anything other than want to have a diverse, strong female lead across things, and that's the whole point of this. At the end, everyone, Fury included, ends up in the con living room because all of the swapperoos going on, and Kamala is not there. And at the ending of the scene of Ms. Marvel is a direct shot from the Marvels. Whew. So this is going to be ridiculous. It's going to try to play on the strong female lead across the board. It's going to, of course, have the race swapping, literally as they swap with each other, going on through the movie. And they're going to try to appeal to that, like, I'm quirky female, quirky, quirk, across this entire thing. It sounds just like an exhausting train wreck, and it's because it is. This is going to be something that doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's going to be something that really does not entice audiences to get into their seats or stay in their seats, and we're not going to have good word of mouth coming out of the theater once this comes on. Now, they are going to try to make a play to own the Comicsgate people, of course, when they do this, because the bigots aren't going to want to watch this movie. That's the only marketing tactic they have at this point, because these films are so bad and so pedantic at this point. They have nothing going for it. So it's really sad to watch. This is what happened with the Marvels, but this is what happens when you have diversity hires across the board, from the actors to the writers to the directors. And this is what they want for culture these days at Disney. It's really, really tragic what they did with Marvel. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.